Welcome to South Jersey Business with Joe Molyneux. Thank you for joining us as we share information, tips, and techniques that can make our business community and your business more successful. Thank you to Stockton University for the opportunity to produce this show focusing on business in South Jersey. As we move into our third season of the show, today's episode will feature many of our past Spotlight segments, as well as a few new exclusive ones. First up, a brand new Spotlight featuring Mark Blum, publisher for the Press of Atlantic City. Then we'll revisit a few of the many spotlights we have had over our first two seasons. Today's show will close out with two more brand new segments. One with Joe Craddock, owner and operator of Rock Solid Home Inspection, and one with Mike Talley, owner and operator of Taco Cat. So sit back, enjoy the spotlight, and we'll see you at the end of the show. Welcome back. And now it's time to shine the spotlight on the Press of Atlantic City and gain some extra illumination on exactly what Mark Blum and his team bring to the business table right here in South Jersey. Mark, can you tell us what the Press of Atlantic City does?
We're a team that gathers news and information in the communities that we serve and find the best way to share that news and information with our readers and viewers.
How do you do it? Because the news never stops and you're there every day providing this content. How do you do what you do?
Well, we have, as I said earlier, about 125 employees spread across 6 different departments, and each department has a daily routine that they go through to do what they do. And in the case of news, where they gather content, that content, as you know, changes every day. And the way they go about gathering it pretty much stays the same, but where they have to go to gather it will change.
Yeah, they're definitely all over the region and throughout the state and the nation to cover a lot of those stories.
Absolutely.
Who makes up your customer base? I know you have different offerings, web-based as well as print. Who makes up that readership?
Well, today we're trying to slice and dice that readership and viewership in as many different ways as we can to make sure that we're serving that segment of our audience the best way that we can. So we have to understand who those people are. And frankly, we don't know as much about that audience as we probably should. So one of the objectives for the near future is to figure out exactly who they are. We know who the print readers are because we've studied them for many years. It's the online viewership that we're challenged most by, and figuring out how to serve that audience because it's a different audience and they have different expectations.
Does that hold true? Because earlier when we talked, you talk about your customers not only being the readers, but also the businesses that advertise in your publication. So reaching them and having them make the decision, that's part of the process of serving the customer as well? Absolutely.
They're another customer of ours, those advertisers. We have to figure out the best way to serve their message to our audience.
That's good. I guess the last question is a little reflective, but it is an important part of the spotlight. Why do you do what you do? What drives you?
What drives me is the ability to do what we do in a way that makes a difference in the communities that we serve, and I should say a positive difference. And that doesn't mean that every story we write is going to be positive, but it does mean that that news and information that we're gathering and sharing with those audiences makes a difference in those people's lives and makes a difference in their businesses.
I want to thank you for allowing us to turn the spotlight on the Press of Atlantic City today.
Thank you, Joe.
Once again, Spotlight here at South Jersey Business gave us a better look into the Press of Atlantic City and the work of publisher Mark Blum. We'll be right back with more South Jersey Business. John, what does Concert Quality Production Services do?
We supply the equipment and the personnel to execute the technical requirements of a show, a concert, or a corporate event.
How do you do what you do?
Some very careful engineering, a lot of experience, and making sure that we understand what the client's needs are.
That's a great answer and concise. Who are the clients that you serve?
We primarily serve casino environments, festivals, and then we have a large segment of corporate clients.
How has that client list grown over the years?
Well, it's kind of changed dramatically, based on the local economy. I think we were more heavily invested in casino type shows at one time, but as that's changed and the direction of entertainment's changed, we find ourselves dealing with more corporate clients that actually have a greater need for the wow factor of production.
It's clearly you can take the show on the road. I mean, it's part of what you do. But how difficult is that sometimes to think about, okay, I have all this equipment here or all this work that needs to be done somewhere across the country. How difficult is the mobilization of the equipment to get to a location?
Well, the mobilization is fairly simple, but I think the important thing to remember in our business is we actually have three distinct businesses. One being the equipment rental business, one being the technical labor business, and then one being the trucking business. So unfortunately, we're bound by the same rules as a moving company when it comes to moving gear around the country.
What's the most surprising moment you ever had in your business at showing up to a location? Can you share one with us that might have been the most surprising?
The most surprising was we had done a corporate event for an Italian helicopter manufacturer in Northeast Pennsylvania. They were building the presidential helicopter. And during a special event, their fire suppression system went off with the complex fully loaded with guests. And it wasn't your typical water fire suppression, it was a foam-based suppression, and it was just absolutely amazing how it overtook the facility.
So it turned into a foam party, basically.
Well, it wasn't a foam party because at the time we weren't really sure what the foam consisted of, and somebody had indicated that it might be caustic. So it was actually a really scary situation.
I'm glad you survived that. Now, the final question we have is, why do you do what you do? Let's talk about what motivates you every day to go out there and do the job.
I have such a feeling of satisfaction when a job goes right. And, there are moments where maybe a job didn't go exactly the way you want it to, but the client generally is never aware of that. I mean, we're driving the car. But then you have some of them where it's just absolutely perfect, every aspect of it. The little hairs on the back of your neck stand up, and you just feel like, I've achieved something here. And that's what makes it so satisfying.
I want to thank you for allowing us to turn the spotlight on your business today.
Thanks again, Joe.
That was John Hines, President of Concert Quality Production Services. We'll be right back with more South Jersey Business. John, what are some of the events that you and the Good Time Tricycle team produce?
Wow, we got an actual pile of them. We just pile them up and just have a good time. So we do the Atlantic City Beer and Music Festival. We do a variety of different style tattoo expos. We do the Cider Social. We do midget wrestling. Not PC, but it's awesome. So, all lifestyle stuff. Our wheelhouse is very lifestyle oriented. We look at what people are into, what they're doing, and what drives them and gets them out of their house.
Well, I love that there's such a diversity in your offering. So this next question of who is your target market is going to change event by event. But do you begin with the event or do you begin with the audience when you're planning these events? Because you mentioned lifestyle.
A little bit of both. So what we do is we look at lifestyle trends, right? Hop on the internet, go to a different event, look what kind of draws people in, where people's interests lie. And then we look at that program, we put a pin in it, we say, okay, that's awesome. That moves bodies. So who are those bodies now? And then we start to kind of seek out, well, who are these interest seekers? Who are into widgets? I never thought I'd use widgets in a conversation. So who are into these widgets? And then we kind of build it around there. And then how do we touch these widget lovers? And find that. And then we say, okay, well, we're doing an event around widgets. So let's create sub-profiles around those widgets that while people are looking at widgets, we can distract them so they can look at other things. And maybe, hey, that's another widget that they might be into. This is how this happened. We started our beer festival, right? Beer grew and grew and grew and grew, and we started to add ciders. And why did we add ciders? Because we wanted to see if there was an interest, almost like a gigantic focus group. And we saw people kind of going towards ciders. We knew that we could get away with doing a cider program, hence the Cider Social was born. So we use our own concepts to tease and test people with other concepts.
It's great. You just did a great job of answering the how after the who and the what. So now we get to the why. What drives you? What inspires you? Year over year, you come up with new ideas. Talk about what inspires you, please.
What inspires me? I'm inspired by success, right? When a program works, I'm inspired. But on the flip side, when a program doesn't work, we did an event a bunch of years ago called the Average Joe Expo. Fell flat on my face. Just might as well have set a pile of money on fire, danced around it, hoped it rained. But I learned a lot from it. And one thing I did learn was, if you take your lumps, your wins feel that much better because you know what the down was like. So as bad as it hurt to get beat up, it was inspiring to go, okay, so I'm not invincible and don't do that again. And here's what you have to do to fix what you're doing. And it kind of propped me up. Like, I think I worked harder that next year after that on every other program we had. I attribute a lot of our kind of black eyes to the success of the program.
Well, I want to say you're not only a producer, you are a creator. And I want to thank you for the creativity because it results in thousands of people coming to South Jersey. And above that, the other areas that you also produce events in. So I want to thank you for not only that, but for sharing time with us in the Business Spotlight today.
Hey, man, thanks for having me.
That was John Henderson, President and Executive Event Producer at Good Time Tricycle. We'll be right back with more South Jersey business. Welcome back. It's now time to shine the spotlight on Ellie Hagan, founder and owner of Body and Balance, and gain some extra illumination on exactly what Body and Balance brings to the business table right here in South Jersey. Ellie, what do you do at Body and Balance?
At Body and Balance, we offer physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, yoga therapy, lymphedema therapy.
Programs as well?
Programs as well. Yes, we offer it all.
That's great. How do you do what you do? I know you have a talented team, but how do you manage to do all those different services and the additional program that you provide out of your space?
I work very hard. I'm passionate about what I do, and I want to be successful at it.
That's great. And you have a strong team behind you as well.
Oh, definitely a strong team.
After 13 years of doing the work you've been doing in your own space, how important is the design of the space to the work you get done? I've noticed there's a lot of functionality and movement. You can hold seminars in some rooms. And how important is the design of the space to meet the needs of your customer, client, patient, and your own personal needs?
The design of the space is very crucial. If you were to look at my building, it would not be the perfect layout, but we've made the best of what we have, and we utilize every inch of space that we have.
Yeah, I noticed it every time I'll visit your location. There's a lot of smiles on people's faces, of course, but it seems like the work's getting done in a very organized way, even the way they're greeted,
Right.
and the space is designed that way.
It's that team effort.
I love it. I guess this is a little more heartfelt of an answer, but why do you do what you do?
I'm just passionate about this. I'm passionate about helping people. I'm passionate about the Parkinson's. I'm passionate about anyone that's suffering from chronic illness.
That's a very noble cause, to go out and know that every day you're going to help somebody, and I think it needs to be applauded, of course. But I have one more question for you. You've owned and operated this business for 13 years. You work every day at it. You've added the Parkinson's Life Center of Southern New Jersey to the mix. How do you balance, just to borrow a word from your practice, how do you balance the business and then every other element of your life?
I'm still learning how to do that. It's a challenge, and I'm still learning.
You're doing a great job with it.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you for allowing us to turn the spotlight on Body and Balance.
Thank you for having me.
That was today's Spotlight, providing a clear view of Body and Balance with offices in Linwood, New Jersey. We'll be right back with more South Jersey business. Welcome back. And now it's time to shine the spotlight on the South Jersey beer scene and gain some extra illumination on the work they do covering the craft beer scene right here in South Jersey. John, can you talk a little bit about what the South Jersey beer scene is?
We're a news and information website and affiliated podcast that covers all the news for South Jersey's vibrant and really growing fast craft beer scene.
Now, that's a pretty big area, South Jersey.
It is.
How do you do what you do?
Well, it's not just me, and it's not just Tom, it's not just Tara, it's just not Karen. We have 5 or 6 other writers that help us, led by Vix Balo, who is our Ocean County representative and runs our whole home brewing outfit. And I listen to their suggestions and let them go out and do what they want to do and get the news from where they're at and spread it amongst everyone here in South Jersey. It's a big area and things are going on all over the place. We kind of unite that area.
Yeah, and plus it makes it vibrant.
Exactly.
The third piece of this would be, who do you do it for? So who makes up your customer base of the readership and the people that are listening and watching what you're doing?
So first and foremost, it's just craft beer enthusiasts, not just here in South Jersey, but all over. It's regional. You know, we're a destination for alcohol tourism now with the wineries, distilleries, and breweries, and it's a good place for them to get information about what's going on in South Jersey.
How receptive have the breweries been to your platform and your coverage of the industry?
Almost to a brewery, almost to a person, it's been overwhelmingly supportive for us. Before we did this, we went and talked to people and were like, will you even talk to us? Like, do we have any credibility? So we had a lot of friends that we knew in the business, and they helped us out and get a start to give us some credibility so other people can see what they're doing. I get routine calls from people that own breweries and bars and bottle shops, and as Tom does, and Tara gets emails, and Karen does, you know, because we have the respect. We've earned the respect because we do what we do truthfully and enthusiastically for the community.
Well, 100% you're building a community, which brings us to the more motivational part of this spotlight. Why do you guys do what you do? Why do you do what you do?
I love writing. I love craft beer. I love doing stuff with my wife and my friends, and it ties it all together. It's a fun topic. People are excited about it. It's growing, and it's something we didn't have in New Jersey really till 5 years ago, well, 6 years ago. But I mean, it's something that's really growing that people love, and it's great to be a part of it. We're right in the middle of the mix. We get invited to a lot of things. That's the perk. But I mean, just to be enthusiastic about something. It's like when you were a kid, you were enthusiastic about baseball. You'd ride down the field and play pickup games all week. This is the same thing for us. It's adult baseball in a sense, that we do this because we love what we do.
I think it's great that you can combine your passion and your profession, and also the way you described why you do what you do. That might be one of the best formulas for success in any business that I've ever heard. John, I want to thank you for allowing us to turn the spotlight on the South Jersey beer scene.
Thanks for having us.
Once again, the spotlight here at South Jersey Business gave us a better look into the South Jersey beer scene and what they offer. We'll be right back with more South Jersey Business. Linda, what are some of the specific products and services that you offer your customers?
Well, we have great coffee. We have fun specialty drinks. We have delicious, freshly made food to go. Through my other business, we have full catering. And most of all, we offer a great experience to our customers when they walk in.
Well, speaking of customers, who makes up your customer base at both Casciano and Kitchen 19?
Well, unlike some retail operations where you have a specific customer and they are a certain profile, in the coffee business, it's literally everyone from the 2-year-old to the 92-year-old. And they're all very special, important customers, and there are an even amount of them all the way through my customer base.
I'm not even sure how you're going to answer this question because I don't know how you do it, but how do you manage to run 2 successful businesses?
Work very hard. Work very hard.
I knew it
And
was
have a
gonna
lot
be-
of good people. And I do have my mom that helps me in my business, so I have to give her a little plug.
I knew it was going to be a good answer and a quick answer because I didn't know how you were going to answer that. How about one of the last questions before we get to another question? Why do you do what you do? What drives you?
Just, I wanted to contribute to our downtown. That's my most motivating reason for doing what I do and working so hard, is that it really has been an inspiration to our town to grow. It was a pivotal point in our town, and it continues to be something that people are drawn to. So it makes me happy that we are part of such a growing town that everybody loves to come to.
I love that answer, and that's an authentic answer for sure, and it's working. How about, I've known you for, what?
11 years.
11. I've known you since the beginning, since
Yes,
before the
you
business
helped
began.
me start my business,
well,
Joe.
Thank you very much. You didn't have to mention that, but thank
But
you.
it's true.
So I'm almost, hesitant to ask, what's next?
Well, speaking of next, we just opened Casciano Next Door. So
exciting.
we took over a retail space that was available, and I thought I should just expand my space that I have for customers. But it's not only for my customers to enjoy that happen to walk in, but we rent it out as private meeting space and private party space. And that's Casciano next door.
I love that you came here to share something new with me. All the years I've known you, I love it. You're always a surprise, and it's always great to turn the spotlight on a business like Casciano's next door now, and of course Kitchen 19.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. That was Linda Casciano, owner of Casciano Coffee Bar and Sweetery and Kitchen 19, and now Casciano's next door, all located in Hamilton, New Jersey. We'll be right back with more South Jersey Business. And now it's time to shine the spotlight on Joe Craddock, owner and operator of Rock Solid Home Inspection, and gain some extra illumination on exactly what Rock Solid Home Inspection delivers to the business community right here in South Jersey. Joe, what is it that Rock Solid Home Inspection provides?
Okay, so we do full-scale comprehensive home inspections of single-family homes for buyers and sellers. In addition, we work on condominiums, townhouses, mobile homes, commercial properties, restaurants. So all those, and in addition to that, we'll do termite inspections, radon inspections, well and septic inspections, pool inspections. So pretty much we cover the gamut. Anything that needs to be inspected when you're buying or selling a house, you can call Rock Solid and we'll come out and be able to provide that service.
Now, I know you're the principal there, but how are you able to do all that?
Well, okay, so with subcontractors, my primary focus is the home inspection. That's what I do. I don't have anybody that works for me. I'm out there and I do them all myself, but I have a team, quite literally, of specialists in those other fields that come out, and I can coordinate it so they're there at the same time, so it makes it easy for the folks that are having the inspection done, but I can make it so that everybody's there at the same time and get them done.
And then you provide a final report that is all-encompassing, that includes all the different pieces. One report goes to the consumer?
That is correct, yes, yes.
It's a great way to run the business. Who makes up your customer base? Where are these calls coming from? Who's hiring you to do these?
Okay, so I'm all over South Jersey. I'm able to get my foot in the door in places I wouldn't otherwise have an ability to be through Home Advisor. It's a pay-for-lead service on the internet. It's expensive, but it gets me places where I otherwise wouldn't go, and it gives me an opportunity once I'm there to meet, obviously a new client, but also a new realtor, and I can establish myself in different areas all over South Jersey.
Since you've started doing this, your territory has grown in leaps and bounds, correct? From the southern part of southern New Jersey and beyond. How far do you go right now with your geographic locations?
So I'm going far. Of course, I go as far south as Cape May. I've been up in Asbury Park and Long Branch, which is an hour, in New Brunswick, about an hour and 40 minutes north, and out all the western part, Cherry Hill, Trenton, and just recently I got licensed to do inspections in Pennsylvania, so I'm doing South Philadelphia as well.
That's awesome. The final spotlight question is, why do you do what you do? What drives you, Joe, in this type of business? Why do you do this?
Well, because I felt like I had the unique ability to do it. I felt qualified, and I truly enjoy working with people and helping them with one of the biggest financial decisions they'll ever make. And it's been a wonderful experience.
It's interesting because my final question was going to be, how much fun are you having? How much are you enjoying this work? But I guess if you wanted to add to that, what would you say?
I truly do enjoy it. I don't get tired of it. I get aggravated if I miss an inspection. I want to do it. I can do typically I can do up to 3 a day, and every day I want to do 3. And I work right now. I'm working 7 days a week, and it doesn't. I don't get tired of it. I enjoy it that much that it doesn't feel like work.
I love that you're able to balance your home life, your dedication to your family, your community, but also spend time on the business and grow this business. So congratulations, and I want to thank you for allowing us to turn the spotlight on Rock Solid Home Inspections.
Thank you so much.
That was today's Spotlight, providing a clear view of what rock-solid home inspections is all about. And now it's time to shine the spotlight on Mike Talley, owner and operator of Taco Cat, and gain some extra illumination on exactly what Taco Cat offers and brings to the community here in South Jersey. Mike, what is it that Taco Cat does, and what kind of products do you serve?
Well, basically, we make tacos because who doesn't love tacos?
right.
But we've expanded the menu a little bit. We started doing burritos, quesadillas. We make our own fresh sauces every day, so everything's fresh, and that's the most important thing for me.
And in addition, we should mention you also serve the X Bar.
Correct.
So that menu's a little different because it's
Yeah,
more of a bar menu?
I changed a couple things. I do three different styles of chicken wings. I do hand-rolled Philadelphia cheesesteak egg rolls, and it's one of my specialties, and people sort of like everything we do.
It's a great variety of menu between the two
Right.
types of foods that you serve. How do you do what you do? It's, you have a reasonable size space to pump out a lot of food, but how do you get that done?
I do it with some great employees. I have two great cooks, Tommy and Eddie, and myself back there, and my wife runs the front of the house.
That's great. That's a great mix. Who makes up your customer base? I see a lot of variety of people coming in, but who makes up the customer base there at the Exchange and specifically at Taco Cat?
I think it's like you said, it's a wide variety. It's like I said before, who doesn't like tacos? And people just come out and enjoy them.
Yeah, it's almost like if you took a knife and kind of cut through the middle of the community
Yeah.
and saw all those different variety of people. That's who you have coming in. I see the smiling faces,
Yeah.
the young, the old, the in-between. Everybody
Yeah.
likes tacos.
Exactly.
And they're fun to eat, too. Okay, so that brings us to a more philosophical question, I guess. Why do you do what you do? What drives you to own and operate a business like this?
It's always been a dream of mine, and I like the work, and I have fun every day.
Well, you might have just answered my final question, but how much are you enjoying it and working with specifically the people you just mentioned and also the customers you see every day? How fulfilling is that to the work that you do?
I love it because you get to know more people, and they come in and say, "Hey, Mike, what's up?" And then you get to know what they like, and you have it ready for them, and people enjoy that take the extra step to notice them.
When you and your wife finish up a long day or a long night, you go home, how much do you enjoy that quiet time after a long day's work to include the work with your wife and everybody you just mentioned?
We go home and eat tacos.
That's great. The community has really embraced this newer concept to the community, but it seems like you're continuing to advance the menu and just add more to the menu. So I don't want to ask what the future holds, but more importantly, can we expect some additional menu options coming in the future as the business grows?
Absolutely. I'm actually working on a few things now, and I talk to my customers, and I get some feedback from them, and I'm open to, if I have it, I'll make it. That's the way my philosophy is.
That's great. And I want to thank you for allowing us to shine the spotlight on Taco Cat today.
Thanks.
That was today's Spotlight, providing a clear view of what Taco Cat, located inside the Exchange in Linwood, New Jersey, is all about. Well, that's the show. I hope you enjoyed all of today's spotlights focusing on the many businesses in our local region. Once again, thank you to Stockton University and everyone that makes this program possible. Let's do it again next week. And until then, let's get growing, South Jersey. Thanks for watching.